Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Not Church, where we encourage people to think. I'm experiencing a bit of history today. I'm at this replica old Baptist church. I think we're in the same vicinity that the church used to be in, called Cool Spring Baptist Church. And I'd like to show you the replica of the older church. Here it is. See it? Very beautiful out here. And I am in That's an old cabin that used to be used to house the minister here. I am in historic Jefferson County, and I stopped by, saw some beautiful cascades along the way off the Blue Ridge Parkway. Um, in a nice area. I love this area. I can never get tired of riding up and down this parkway. I'm always discovering new things, seeing new waterfalls, new trails, and they seem to all have different personalities. Today I want to talk about the importance of balancing your life. Now, before I go into that, I want to say this, that from the very beginning of creation, right? From the very beginning of creation, God created everything, and God did it seemingly systematically. Because when we look at the chronological order in which these thoughts are organized in from the book of Genesis, we see a transition of things happening, one right after the other, right after the other. And in our human mind, we would view this as almost like a systematic plan that God had. And God could have very well had a systematic plan. I'm not God. You're not God. So we don't know the mind of God as we should. None of us. God's mind is super vast. It's endless. His intelligence supersedes anything we can ever imagine. But the one thing that we do know, based upon God's God creating all of this, the earth and all of the creatures in the earth and all of the life in the earth, we do know that before man tampered with it, things were moving along just fine. Because, we see God's systems working harmoniously together and in peace. You see animals functioning together without the capacity to reason as mankind. Mankind has a conscience, we have a will, we have the ability to reason, to think, to process. So out of all of the creatures that God created, the human being seemingly is the more intelligent out of them all, seemingly. But interestingly enough, though we may be the most intelligent, we have a conscience, we have wills, we have the ability to process and reason and think and all of this. Though we have that, we are out of all the animals seemingly. And yes, I called us animals because we are creatures just like all the other creatures. And we're above all the other creatures, but we're creature. We're created by God. And so what this means is that even though we have this intelligence, we're destroying one another. We're destroying the world, and seemingly for no good reason. Seemingly there is no viable reason to murder, but we do. There's seemingly no uh particular reason that one should gain power and authority over another person, another human being, another man, another individual, but we do, and we do it with all the intelligence that we have. Whereas all of the creatures, the animals, and everything in the earth functions with God's grace and with God's mercy and God's benevolence in peace. Why is this? Why is it that mankind functions at mankind's own demise, at mankind's own pride and arrogance and conceit to will himself over another person, and the creatures and the animals seem to have better sense than we do? Uh, you know, when we put any thought or idea over God, it's a problem. How do I put a thought or idea over God? Because I begin to think that my thought or my idea is better than the next person's. This is what happened with systematic theology, with religion. We try to uh, orchestrate spirituality and systemize it in a way that we, want people to receive and believe it and walk in it, which is fine. The problem is, what about when your religion and your ideas and thoughts appear to you to be better than the next person's ideas and thoughts? Then what? Now you have division. And there's a problem with division, because when there's division, people want to kill the thing that they don't, or that won't agree with them. They want to destroy it or destroy the person. See, this is what intellect does when it runs out of control, when there's no balance. This is what religion does when it runs out of control and there's no balance. People go off the deep end and they start assuming that you're wrong, and they outcast. And then with the outcast comes the torment, and with the torment then comes death or murder. Kill them, destroy them, because they don't know what they're talking about. I believe that therein lies more freedom with God, right? To dispel oneself from organized religion, period, and go straight to the maker, straight to God, so that God can begin to balance us out. The animals don't need no religion. Creatures don't need no religion. People don't need religion to survive. Somebody has told us this lie and has perpetrated this lie, but people don't need religion to survive. All we need is God. Because God has a way of revealing truth to every individual that will focus on God through God's own leadership, not man's leadership. You can't orchestrate spirituality. You can't systemize spirituality. It's impossible. Spirituality, it needs the elbow room to allow people to be free to follow God however God leads the individual. And people say, well, where would the law and the order come from? I didn't say laws and orders are bad. People can be godly and agree on spiritual laws and rules. But we like to put our own spins on things. You know, we demonize everything. I think I'm going to do a message on some things that I've been thinking about that people have demonized so much. But really, these are God created things and it's all good. God can't create anything that's bad. God's perfect. So allow this perfect God to help you balance your life, balance your relationships, balance your work life, balance your recreation life, balance your social life, balance your intellectual life, balance your life, period. Balance your moral life. You know, it's been said in the past that if you want to find the truth, it's probably somewhere in the middle. This is where God's balance is. Well, the Bible said God ain't hot and God ain't cold. You either got to be hot, or cold, or lukewarm, going to hell. Ain't nothing wrong with 73 degrees. Thank you for tuning in to this segment of Not Church. And remember, like, comment, subscribe. And remember, it is okay to think till we meet again. Peace.